time to check out your neighbors on the Good Neighbor Podcast, where we bring good vibes, great neighbors, and local businesses in Southwest Florida together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 246 of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have good neighbor, Dr. Winny Wong from PrintSpark. Welcome.
Hi, great to be here.
Yeah, wonderful getting to know you a little bit more and share your story with our listeners. And let's start off by, why don't you share a little bit about what you do over at PrintSpark?
Well, I am the owner of PrintSpark. We do custom apparel, mainly apparel items like shirts and uniforms, but we also just moved into doing promotional items like flyers, stickers, brochures, and laser engraved products as well. So we focus on making the process super easy. So we offer no design fees, no setup fees, super fast turnaround times, and a really personalized service.
That's what it's all about, right? Absolutely. Yeah. So let's back up your story a little bit here. How did you get involved in all of this?
So I actually started out as a pharmacist. That's where my background is. But during school, I had a side hustle doing custom printing, and I truly fell in love with the creativity and the hustle of it. So after a few years in pharmacy, I took a leap and went all in on business. And I've loved solving problems and building things. So, PrintSpark was really the natural next step.
Absolutely. You got to follow your passion. That's what it's all about, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about maybe some of the challenges in that transition and maybe opening your own business. Are there any that you faced?
Like leaving pharmacy was a big challenge for me. It was walking away from the stability into uncertainty, There were definitely tough moments. So we're still fairly new. We're about 4 months open. It's the biggest challenges are just putting myself out there, going to the networking events, meeting more people in the community and just kind of building that trust, the trust in the community, the trust in myself. I have to, stay really resourceful. And honestly, I got to keep showing up, every day, even though, it's just hard kind of getting, what that next day will bring.
Right. But you're the boss, you're the owner. So, when you get up in the morning, I'm like, I got to do this. Nobody else is going to do it. I have to do it.
Exactly.
So you got that motivation for you going, and you're doing great. So let's talk about the printing and the apparel industry. Are there any maybe myths or misconceptions surrounding what you do that we can maybe clear up for our listeners today?
Definitely. I think people think that custom printing is super complicated or only for big companies, but we actually keep it super simple. You don't need a fancy logo or a big order. We'll help you from start to finish and we make it super accessible for anyone, whether you need one shirt or 12 shirts or 500 shirts. That's the biggest thing about what I wanted to bring to this is, we'll help you design it. We'll help you get it set up and all of that. And we don't charge any additional fees. So no setup fees, no design fees, and no minimums on our apparel. So you can just as easily, if you need something like, I have a birthday party coming up and we'd love to do like a group shirt, we'll make it happen. It's just about that access and the accessibility to custom printing for people.
Absolutely. And there's so many other businesses out there that say, well, if you don't meet our minimums, we can't do that for you. So it's nice to have somebody that can and actually offers customer service, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about trending things in the industry. Maybe things if you've only been at a short time, but obviously there's new things happening. Are there certain
new things in the industry? There's so much technology in printing now. I do the screen printing. I do a lot of the traditional type printing, but there's so many new gadgets and gizmos that are coming out that allow you to, get full color prints, one-off prints, and there's not as much set up into putting those together. And that's why I can, offer, additional, like these free design or free minimums, incorporating technology into the design process as well. So a lot of the times we do have designers on staff, but we'll get that quick inspiration from AI. AI can develop a quick design and we're like, oh, that works. And we'll take parts of those AI concepts and put them into a final design for you. So a lot of these things, a lot of technology is really incorporated into our business to really give you that next level, that next, the next level of technology for printing and enhancing that experience.
Yeah, and you mentioned AI, and it's, like you said, it's important. It's nice you can start there, because in the beginning, there's so many people that come to you with an idea in their head, and then you do all this work and design something. They're like, "Man, that's not what I wanted."
Exactly.
With AI, it's a little bit easier to tweak, and then after you get that concept and everything approved, then you can dial it in a little bit more with your artistic ability and everything. So
we can give more options, more different styles. We can be like, is this what you're looking for? Is this what you're looking for? At least we can get in the right direction, and then we can put in the work to get it exactly where you want it to be.
And it cuts that time down as well too, because design does take a long time. So, so are you from Florida originally? I know you went to pharmaceutical school, but you are. Okay.
Yes. So I was actually born and raised in Southwest Florida. I grew up in Lehigh. I went to school at Lehigh Senior High school. I was valedictorian at the time with the highest GPA in the record of the county, not to be boastful, but I grew up here, and I went to UF in Gainesville for undergrad. And then I went to University of Florida for pharmacy school as well at their Orlando campus. And then I moved back.
See, so you must love Florida. You're staying around here, right?
I've never lived outside of Florida. So I'm such a true Floridian that I've never even really seen snow. I've never experienced snow. So,
it's nice one time, trust me. I grew up in the snow, and it's nice when it first snows, but after that, no, it's too cold and you have to shovel it. You wouldn't like it. Just go visit it, come back to Florida. Whatever down here. So I know your job, especially being a business owner, can be very demanding of your time. Is there things that you do like to do outside of work to enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, since I started, because we're in the early stages, I don't know that I've spent a lot of, fun time doing things, but
well, you're networking.
I'm networking. Like, I'm working during the day, and then in my evenings, I'm going out and meeting more people. And I find that to be fun. Like meeting the people, getting, having appetizers and drinks with people out in the evenings. But prior to this, I mean, I do like. I like sports. I like bowling. I go paddle boarding. Just all the Florida things.
Right. That's why we live down here, to be outside and do that fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
So is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about PrintSpark that maybe they wouldn't be too familiar with?
I think that with PrintSpark, I mean, we're local. So that's the biggest thing, is that, I was realizing the other day, it's so weird to have that one-on-one connection now, because you just go online, order it, you just hope that everything is right. And I think a lot of times people start to forget that there are local businesses out there. You can come in and chat with me, and we can work together and build that relationship. And, you can get exactly what you want here locally. And supporting local, it has been such a big transition. Even as a business owner now in Southwest Florida, I'm like, I kind of forgot that there were local businesses, and going and meeting local business owners, building that community, like that's something that I really want to do more of for myself, for other business owners. And, I really want to encourage other people to support local businesses.
Absolutely. We need to stay close. We need to stay tight. And like you said, you never know who your neighbor is. They probably own a business, but you don't know. And you want to support them because they're living in the same community. So no, I love your concept. I love the idea of what you're doing. How would our listeners go about getting a hold of you if they had some questions or wanted to learn more?
You can check out our website. It's www.printspark.com, or you can give us a call, 239-935-8035, or follow us on socials, on an Instagram or Facebook, PrintSpark Apparel. And if you're in Fort Myers, come by to our shop, and we're always happy to help brainstorm with you.
Very good. Any last words for our listeners today?
It was really great being here. I hope that you guys learned a little bit about printing, and don't be afraid to create something custom that you love.
Absolutely. Thank you for being such a good neighbor. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. Hope to see you out in the community, probably networking soon, right?
Absolutely. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, bringing together good vibes, great neighbors, local businesses in Southwest Florida. To nominate your favorite local business to be featured on the show, go to CaboWaboGym.com. That's CaboWaboGym.com, or call 239-427-4100.